Right then, ladies and gents, something has definitely changed with Ruben Amorim in these last couple of weeks. There was a lot of talk ahead of the Leeds game with the embargo quotes that came out. I think he was asked by Jamie Jackson about why didn't you change your 3-4-3 early, and he said, I don't want to talk about it. I didn't look into that too much. You could if you wanted to, but I chose not to. This reaction after the Leeds game, is it boiling over a little bit into the public? I think we can all safely assume that something is definitely going on behind the scenes now. So I'm going to run through, the clips of what Amorim said in his post-match press conference, and then have a conversation about what he did say. If you've missed it, here's the clip, all right? Have a listen.
Guys, to stop with that, and I noticed that you receive selective information about everything.
Not happy about leaks, clearly.
I came here to be the manager of Manchester United, not to be the coach of Manchester United. And that is clear. I know that my name is not Tuchel, is not Conte, is not Mourinho, but I'm the manager of Manchester United. And it's going to be like this for 18 months, or when the board decided to change. So that was my point. I want to finish with that. I'm not going to quit. I will do my job until other guy is coming here to replace me.
Right. Honestly, it's kind of got me scratching my head for quite a few reasons. First things first, Ruben Amorim saying he's the manager of Manchester United. He came to be the manager of Manchester United, not the head coach. I'm really confused as to why he's saying that. Because we all know Ruben Amorim is the head coach of Manchester United. The concept of a head coach, the concept of why things should have been different in these last 12, 13 months, we finally fucking got an actual CEO, an actual sporting director. You know what they can do? Support a manager, take a little bit of the stress away so he can just be the head coach. That was supposed to be a bonus. That was supposed to be a positive. You can focus purely on the football. We'll deal with more of the bureaucracy behind the scenes. But now Ruben Amorim is actually saying that he came here to be manager of Manchester United, and that he's always wanted to be manager of Manchester United. I don't know why he's name dropping Tuchel and Conte and Mourinho. What, were they managers and they were able to be involved? But what does he mean by it? Does he mean that he wants more involvement in or influence in decisions around the football club? Presumably. But you know what this just kind of really feels like? It does just feel like there's a clash going on between Wilcox and Amorim. It was early this week where I think it was Nathan Salt from the Daily Mail came out with an article, loads of info. Maybe I'll look into that more now and pull it together in a bit of a full story, just so we can try and, as United fans, understand what's going on behind the scenes. But I don't ever really jump on what one tabloid journalist is saying straight away to add fuel to the fire. But something is clearly going on. Is this to do with the system? Is this to do with... Because if you do remember, when Amorim actually came in, Wilcox, not that he was against Amorim, but he was kind of against the idea of bringing in a manager who was kind of wedded to a three-at-the-back system mid-season after sacking Ten Hag. He voiced concerns about that at that time. We haven't signed any... I don't think we've signed one single specialist player for a three-at-the-back system. I really don't think we have. All the signings that we make can play across any system, across any manager. And if you remember, during the summer, Amorim wanted a midfielder and Wilcox went over the top and said, no, we need a striker. And Ratcliffe supported Wilcox because he's the sporting director that decides the direction of the club. So in that sense, there was a direct clash between what Wilcox wanted, what Amorim wanted, and what happened because we signed Šeško and not a midfielder. But you know what I find really strange about this? Why now? Like, that Leeds game was... Look, in isolation... Drawing 1-1 away at Leeds, that's a fair enough result, man. And the fact that they're in decent form, and the fact that our three best players aren't in the team, and the fact that we are not in the best of form. I think it's fine, but it's the fact that you add that on top of the West Ham game, the Everton game, the Wolves game, the Villa loss. That, it was just, I'm surprised that it was this game that snapped. That it snapped with Ruben, because there was a noticeably different demeanour from Ruben Amorim there. I mean, he's always been quite an emotional manager, but I think he's always been able to contain that part of it Is it because of the January transfer window? Like, it could be because he's been instructions from above about the system and he needs to change that from Wilcox. It could well be the January transfer window because we were going to sign Semenyo, which I don't think was a priority for the football club in any way, shape or form. But if we were going to do that, why wouldn't we then invest in him? I've already said, did a video last week, saying it'll be a mistake if we go through this January transfer window and we don't pull forward some form of plan. If you're going to pull forward a plan for Semenyo, then lads, you can surely pull forward a plan for something else in terms of midfield because we need a midfielder. We've needed a midfield for a long time, not just because of what's happening this season, let alone for the fact, and again, Chelsea and City draw, Liverpool draw, Spurs draw, drop points galore. The whole Premier League this season is just a bunch of misfits, man. Really is, and we're the kings of it. But Ruben Amorim, I'm confused as to why he's saying this. Like, you came in as head coach. That was always the job description. That was always the job title. So what do you mean you want to be the manager? For me, it sounds like he's getting instructions from above and he's not happy with it. It sounds like he's being told to shift, but he's not happy with it. In the same way that a manager would be angry if he was told he had to play a certain player. He wouldn't be happy with it. This very much feels like a sporting director. Look, fuck it, I could do a video on Wilcox and the things that I could question. I can do a video on every single aspect of this football club and things I would still question. Fantastic, isn't it great? Things were supposed to be improved, were supposed to be better. And I was supposed to be able to trust the stability of the structure. But I think what we're seeing here, play out in real time, is a manager who is, you can use the word clashing if you want, and it probably would be a fair reflection of it. Something's going on between the decision makers of the football structure of this football club and the head coach, who clearly feels like he's getting undermined. Is it all to do with that system? Do you reckon that could be it? I mean, it could be it. Is this all to do with the fact that he wants to keep sticking to a 3 at the back system and is being told from above that isn't the right? Because if that is, then Amorim's just wrong, man. Adaptation's required everywhere, especially between leagues, especially coming into the Premier League. I'm just confused as to why it happened after what was a decent enough result against Leeds. So this must have been bubbling for a while, because I don't think it was the fact that we drew. I don't know what happens next from this point. But truth be told, if you start calling out your seniors in public, you know what happens. There is only one way that ends. And that'll be Ruben Amorim getting replaced. What do you think's going to happen?